Hi guys, welcome back to part 5 of this series, Rebuilding Birmingham International. In today's episode, we're looking at scheduling the first flight. We'll then be going through how to create the emergency response units and then looking at patrol routes. If we've got time, we might even look at building a new runway and expanding the airport even further. But just before we get into that, we're going to look at where we left off last time. Now, it is night time and I've just paused the game. However, our bathrooms were closed last time, so we've just reopened them or opened them for the first time rather than reopen them. To do this, you just click on the bathroom or the room that you want to open and click on the green, or which was red, turn it into the green button. So the first thing we're going to do is start scheduling some actual flights for our general aviation. Now to do that, the easiest way is to click on the tab button on your keyboard and we're going to accept an airline master contract. Now to do that, you go over to the economy and highlight over to offered contracts. Now we have all of these to choose from. Now I have used some mods, so we've got Lufthansa, Arini, Loganair, etc., as well as some made up airlines like Fly Penguin and Goose Wings. So I'm going to start by opening up some real airlines and we're going to go for the Arini, which will be able to use our small runway. Now, I do like how each of the airlines has its own description. So for Arini, it's got the carrier of the airlines in the bailiwick of Guernsey. Its head office is next to Guernsey Airport in the Channel Islands, and it's been wholly owned by the states since 2003. And when we're choosing these airlines, we have our airline fleets, and it will tell you what type of aircraft can be operated on your stands and your runways. So we've got the small, which is all we've got at the moment. So I know Arini will definitely be able to implement into our flight schedule. Now, when we build our next lot of runways and stands, we'll go up to the medium. Now, in 2025, Arini actually only offer two types of aircraft, which is the ATR 72-600, which is in the game, and also the Dornier. Now, that particular model isn't built into the game, I believe, so it's replaced with a very similar Saab 340. We've also got the Embraer 170 jet, which Arini used to fly until last year when they sold it. And the reason they sold that plane was it was just way too expensive to run and maintain. And also the ATR 42, which Arini doesn't have any of these. Instead, they have the 72. And the only difference between these two versions are the amount of passengers that they can carry. So we're going to sign off with Arini for one of ours. We're going to sign off with Eastern Airways. Oh, we're not going to sign off with Eastern Airways. They don't have the small fleet. That's something to look through in the future. We're going to sign off with Loganair because they can do this as well. And I like to go for 3 different airlines to begin with. We're going for Iberia, so Spain's national airline. There we go. So we're now going to open the flight planner. Now the shortcut to do this is just to press F onto our screen. And I'm just going to close the tutorial down just for a second whilst we see this. Now, to implement our flights, we click on the airline on the left. Oh, there isn't any planes that are available just yet. If we click on Iberia, now we've actually got 2 here. So I'm going to put our Iberian flights onto small stand 1, which for some reason it's not letting me do. Cannot. So what's the message we're getting here? It is saying cannot. Oh, there is a message, but I don't know that is doing that. Right, let's play the game and see if this will allow us to do this. This flight should be 3 days in advance. This is because it's Sunday scheduling. So we're about to turn over to midnight. So if we click onto Monday, we can now implement our flights. And we're going to start it from 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll have our first flight in. And we'll leave our spaces, let's say 2 hours at the moment. Between 12 and 2, there's that gap. Now, we can do that with our flight separation. When you have a COO and a CIO, you can actually use the auto planner to automatically plan your flights for you. I don't always like doing that. I like to make sure that there's enough time in between flights and that the scheduling, I like to keep the stands next to the airliners. So my stand one for now is going to be Iberia. And I'm going to just go back, and here we go. We've got Logan Air. Oh, we haven't got any flights for Logan Air just yet. But for now, just whilst we're getting off the road, I think this is a really, really good start for us. So if we go back, I can add some more in. Now, Lufthansa, I am going to put those in. And let's see if they offer us some flights as well. So back onto the F button. And yeah, Lufthansa as well are not offering us any flights. Now, our airline satisfaction, we are a new airport. This will go up as we handle more flights on time, which is again an important reason why I'm splitting flights about 2 hours apart in case there are any delays. So just going to pause the game for a second whilst we go back to the tutorial and have a look at what we need to do next. Well, it says we need to turn around 5 commercial flights. Now, to do this, we may need a 5th airline that we can rely on. Let's just go and filter by all, and let's just have a look. We've got DHL Aviation. They operate 2 different aircraft, and we are going to sign a deal with these guys as well. And let's see, enable us to put some more flights on, and it will. Here we go. So we're going to make stand 4, let's say our DHL stand. There we go. Again, we've only got 3 flights that are available at the moment, scheduled flights. As we go later in the week, yeah, we can see that some of these are not being offered just yet. But again, although we've got our airlines, I do want to get through this little bit quite quickly. Can't have Eastern Airways at the moment. I may have to use a fictional aircraft here. So, or we could wait for this to refresh, because they do refresh every now and then. And we get rid of some of these fake airlines. See if it gets replaced with real airlines. Or maybe the other ones will just... We are going to skip our time quite quickly here, okay? Just whilst that's loading through. Now, while that is loading through, we'll go back to our flight planner, and Logan Air are now offering us a flight. Brilliant. And I'm going to make this stand here our Logan Air. Now, one of the things that I will try and do normally is stagger the flight, so we've got passengers not coming in at all different times. I haven't done with this flight here. But I'm not too worried about this, because there's only 4 and 10 passengers that are onto these first flights, and 11, 17 on our second. So I'm not too worried about this just yet. If we go back to our flight planner, as time has gone on, we now have different flights that are great. So we'll put our Arini flight onto stand 4, put another Logan Air flight on, and we'll try and keep a 2 hours gap, but also just bear in mind staggering so our airport terminal doesn't become overrun. We've also got some Lufthansa flight. I'm going to keep the Lufthansa ones off just for now, and we've got our DHL flight. Now, we take it at around 250. There we go. We've got a lovely start to our scheduling. So by about 5 o'clock today, we should have turned around all these flights, and we could be able to progress on the tutorial. So we go back to the tutorial. We can always skip to the next page. So whilst we're waiting for this to happen, and as I've just noticed, the runway needs a bit of a repair. So let's repair our runway. Perfect. We're going to complete our emergency response units. So we need to complete the R&D response, emergency response unit project. So we're going to go on to our staff. And sorry, we're not going to go on to our staff. We're going to go on to our operations and R&D projects. So we're now going to start a new project, and we're going to look at emergency response units, which is going to take 24 hours to do. I'm going to put all of our administrators available. Now, this actually means we can put 6 onto this and it will save time. So I am actually going to do that by going over to our staff, applicants, and then just hiring a couple more administrators. So these 2 will do, and that will take our staff into 7, which is absolutely fine. And I go to our staff overview. I'm going to train them up just to make green. Perfect. So when our R&D project emergency response unit is completed, we can go through and add these different buildings to our airport. Now, your airport may have flights that need to land in emergency. There could be fires, etc. So it's really important that this is an integral part of the infrastructure, let's say, to this building. Now, we've had some flights land, as we can see, people using the toilet, and these people are able to get in and out of the airport terminal very quickly with lots of room. That's making me very happy. Now, the one thing I forgot to do in the bathrooms was just change the gender. So I'm always going to have a female and a male gender bathroom. And did I get that the right way? Yeah, female without the urinals. And we're going to go the same here. We'll have female and male. Now, we've got these toilets both airside and landside. It is really good to see. Now, some of the things I could do is improve the carpets or the flooring around the terminal, but for now I'm quite content in what it looks like. Now, I'm just going to slow the game down. It did say there that we could delay the flight if needed, but it's already past that. You can delay flights if there's going to be any issues. Well, this one we're not going to delay. It's going to get going. But you can delay flights. And normally the reason that happens is your passengers could be late to the terminal, or there could be queues around the terminal as well. So just whilst we're waiting for this to build, we'll put up the speed again. Here we go with our Arini plane that's just come in. ATC doing a very very nice job there. As you can see, the Arini plane, there was a lot of people on there. 25 landed. And there's no baggage because we don't have the baggage built yet, but these guys are walking out of the airport. And there we go. So if we go on to our next page, we can also do patrol routes. To move on to the tutorial, we have to complete this page. Until we research and develop our emergency response units, we're not able to actually complete the second page. So we're just going to keep an eye on our airport for the next few minutes whilst the day progresses. And whilst we keep an eye on that research project. So tab, operations, R&D projects. And I forgot to put the 6th person on, but they are going to be working on this now. So if you've got any spare administrators, you also have these programs that you can unlock at the bottom. Oh, here we go, it's running late. We're not going to delay our flight by the hour. We'll get that going. Now, I actually don't know what that does. If you say yes, you might keep all your passengers. However, although you might be keeping all of your passengers, it may be that your airline is affected in terms of the rating of your airport, I should say, rather than the airline. Now, this little thing at the bottom is our staff bar, and it's saying that there's actually jobs available. So we're amber for passenger service agents, so I should hire one of those potentially in busy times, but we are out of service technicians and security officers. So we're going to go onto tab, onto staff, and service technicians. Here we go. We're going to hire a couple of these guys, and I think it wanted 4. Janitor, sorry, rather than security officer. Janitor and service technicians. And we'll hire 4 service technicians. We are going to hire 4 janitors. Now, I don't think we need 16. I think that's telling to us that there's 16 jobs available. And if I go back to our staff, I'll train them up so they are green. Go. We've all got really good staff in here at the airport. But sometimes things can go wrong and you need to prepare for different situations. So we are still waiting for this just to be built. Now, we've had some emails come in. We've got our performance reports And as we hire other members of staff, which we'll do later on, we'll be able to get access to other business reports. That's all that this email is really telling us. I'm going to delete that. We've also got a message from the Aviation Administration, a word on security. So if you have a commercial license, make sure to keep a high average security rating as possible. Otherwise, you may get a fine or your license revoked. And at the moment, we're at 59%, which is okay. But we will be able to improve this, such as, again, your staff hire and with the baggage system. But that's not built just yet, so we don't need to worry too much right now. And it's in amber. Amber's okay. It's when it goes red that we're going to worry about this. Make sure you have skilled staff. And again, the rest of this is talking about the baggage. So we do have skilled staff all in green. Then we've got a $1 million or £1 million award. So we've been selected as the winner of the Aviation Transportation Reward. And therefore we've got £1 million. So that's brilliant. So it's going to give us a little bit of a boost to our funds, especially when we start rebuilding part of the airport. And the next part we are going to build is over here, where we are going to add different runways. But again, we can't do that just yet. So it should nearly be time for our R&D project. Yep, we're about 57% through now. Now, just before that came up, as I was saying, you could put an administrator into one of these programs. And these programs mean we can upkeep cost reduction, so 5% reduction for operations cost, 5% salary reduction in cost, 5% repair cost reduction, or an increase in construction speed by 10%. I think for now we're going to go with the upkeep cost. Okay, if I go to our economy and we have a look at our upkeep cost, okay, it's so this is the income that we've got on our spreadsheet. We're currently making a little bit of money from parking fees, but also runway usage fees. Now, if we go to our operations, our operating cost is 3,348. That should reduce now by 10%. In comparison, our staff salaries are only £307. So actually, we hit the right choice by going through the upkeep cost. Now, we could hire another administrator and go for an upkeep and cost reduction, which I think that is definitely worth the money. We will go to our applicants, over to our administrators, and we will hire this guy here, and we will train him up. And we will put him onto our upkeep cost reduction. So that's going to save us 5%. And because we've got two of them on there, it means that it should get up to that 5%. At the moment, we're only reducing our current output by 2%. Now we've got two of them on there. That should increase. It's gone up to 3%. So we may need maybe some more administrators to look at there. Now, if I go back to our airport and go back to our staff room, we can see that there's only actually one desk free for our administrators to work in. So what I'm going to do is just go over to our staff room, so go and staff in and go over to an office desk, and actually we can add in a couple more office desks that they could work at. So that looks like an okay. Pop it in, and I want to give them a little bit of room here. 3 desks, some more flowers in, keeping with the theme of so we're 85% now through to the emergency response unit. So in a couple of game hours, that should be complete. And we can then get on with building our emergency response units, which is going to be really, really good to do. If ever you want to go back through the tutorial, you can do on the bar, on the tab button, okay, and go to the top. And it tells you some tips that you may have forgotten, or anything that you may have missed. Okay. Done the first one, and then we're on to our regional airport, which we're again looking at most of this now. And we're just waiting for the emergency response units and the patrol units. just have a quick look at how the airport is doing, how we're getting on with the airport. We've got some passengers here. One of the things I think I forgot to put in is just some food vending machines, which a little bit of time now. We go to our terminal button, and we go over to vending machines, some drinks machines in, which will again give us a bit more money. So that is the correct way, and we can pop them. Maybe not by the window. Just trying to think of a really nice place to put these. So we could have them just here. We'll go for it. Drinks machine. Just there. Drinks machine. Get some land side as well, so people buy some fruit or buy some drinks, let's say, to begin with. And then we'll do the same with food machine. Go there. There. So overall, we've got some vending machines to keep our customers or our passengers happy in case they get hungry. And also, it's a nice little opportunity for the airport to make some money. So now we have completed our emergency response unit. But we need to build an emergency response station first. Now, to do that, let's go back and click on the tab checklist. To do this, we go over to the patrol and we go over to our emergency response station. Now, this does need, oops, press the wrong button. This here does need to be built. Just our checkpoint here. Now, I'm just trying to think about where might be a nice place to put this and fitting in. We're going to put our response unit straight after our checkpoint. And then I know I'm going to need to build a police station after, so well. And I'm going to speed this up by going to our operations, and I'm going to deploy all of our contractors. Not delay any flights just yet. Our staffing seems to be okay. Right, we need a passenger service agent because we've got a slight shortage of them. Go back to our applications. Let's hire another 2 passenger service agents. I know these are a bit more expensive. That should there keep us flowing nicely. So we've building our response unit, and we are now building our police station. And then we need to purchase a police car, a fire truck, and an ambulance, and a hangar as well. So we can do that by pressing tab and going to vehicles and going to purchase vehicles. So we're going to need a police car, an ambulance, and a fire truck. We've got 2 of our fuel vehicles, and actually go to our vehicles. Yeah, there's surplus job load, so that should be okay keeping that there for now. So we need to build a hangar. So if an aircraft is damaged, it has to be repaired by a hangar as well. So we're going to do that. Bring the speed down to normal because we're not waiting for anything. Click on the airplane infrastructure or aircraft infrastructure. These need to be built next to runways if possible, or next to. So could build them just on the hangar. Could build it just here as well, and add a bit more space. I'd probably build them around here and have taxiway. But I don't think I'm going to fill. But I am going to use it just on the edge. Should let me build them. Build 1 hangar for now. And we need to connect it with the taxiway. So we go to our taxiway path. And there we go. That will bring our planes that need to be paid into the hangar. I'll triple the speed again. And from the runway upgrades, we need to build a bird prevention system. Bird strike prevention system. So we click on the runway. We click on the upgrades. And we can click on the system. And we're landing, taking off in 2 different directions. So we're just here. That will stop any emergency, in theory. So we've got a hangar that's built, or being built. And we've also got the opportunity to build some different grades. We can build some Pappy lights. And we've already got our Pappy lights built in. Not that we've done that already. Oh, there we go. We should also just double check in. We could convert to grass, but the runway isn't going to be efficient. We're just waiting for our guys to build our hangar up. There we go. And the last thing to do is just the patrol system. So we can create a security patrol inside of a terminal. And to do that, you click on security patrols, click on the security, and we can make a route around security, which we are going to do. So we'll start from here, down to here, cross into here, up through, back around. Okay, that's our patrol system. And we can do the same with our vehicles. So if we go into our patrol system and we click on the airport control, and now this can go around our airport just like this. All the way. Go. Roll. You can also delete a patrol by choosing the X icon on one of the nodes. So we could just, oops, hoping that hasn't deleted. Delete a patrol by choosing the X icon and click, the X icon on. Click that and bring that one back. Quite easy. There we go. We've got 2 patrol routes. And this is going great. So when you're ready, you can expand your small regional airport and attract some high-rated airlines. We need to build larger aircraft stands and make sure our runways can handle the jets. So this is part 5 over and done with. So thank you for staying with me. This is a regional airport that is up and running. If we look at the tutorial, we've got a small and regional airport up and running. Now to make it to an international airport, we need bigger stands, a larger runway, and we also need to consider the baggage system that would be used at the airport. Thank you very much. Drop me a follow and a comment, and I'll be seeing you very shortly. Goodbye.